Good morning, Flyers fans, and welcome back to Clear the Ice, the Flyers postgame show here on the It's Wrap Sports Network. Your boy Matty B on the call, and the Flyers hang on tonight. Yeah, they hang on. It didn't seem, a 6-3 game, 5-2 late. It doesn't seem like you should be saying that they hung on, but they did. 6-3 was the win tonight. Their 20th victory of the season over Vancouver. Vancouver stinks. I don't know what else to say more about this. Flyers came into this game a little lethargic. They were outshot 8-0 to start the game. Outscored 1-0. Jamie Drysdale was a wreck most of the game. Did redeem himself late in the game there, but it was not a clean, crisp game. And coming off of the game in Seattle the other night and this game, and then you're going back-to-back tomorrow in Calgary, I'm glad they kind of pulled themselves out of whatever it was and were able to kind of beat an inferior team tonight. And but as I said, a real sluggish start for them. Outshot painfully to start this game. Down 1-0. They come out and they score 3 unanswered to take the 3-1 lead. Got it up to they got down to 3-2, 4-2, 5-2. Then you had an empty net shorthanded goal by Owen Tippett. But then Vancouver scores right behind that, and you got a helter-skelter finish down the end. The Flyers add a late empty netter to reclaim that 6-3 lead. That's how you get 6-3 Flyers tonight. We're going to break down some of these goals and talk a little bit more about this game here tonight. But I want to remind you guys that even though the Flyers are in Western Canada and they're going to continue to be there throughout the rest of this week, we will not leave you alone. We got you. Tonight I'm here. Tomorrow I'll be back, as I got back-to-back with you guys tomorrow in Calgary. I'll ring in the new year with you, and Mike Lauer will take it to finish the road trip in Edmonton on Saturday. So there's your Clear the Ice schedule for the rest of the week. And here you have our schedule in the network for the rest of this week. Tomorrow, the best of the week of It's a Wrap Sports. We'll start at 8 o'clock, and then we got Flyers Flames tomorrow night, New Year's Eve for you, and then the rest of the stuff that's scheduled for the week. So plenty to do here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Let's head over to the game here. Let's clean up some of the admin stuff, as I like to do. Some of the healthy scratches for the Flyers. Nick Delorier, Garnet Hathaway, and Noah Juleson got the healthy scratch for the Vancouver Canucks. Niels Hoglander, Ratty, and Elias Pettersson were healthy scratches for the Vancouver Canucks. In between the pipes tonight for the Flyers was Dan Vladar, which I thought was an interesting decision here. When you're going back-to-back, now again, not that Calgary is a juggernaut, and perhaps this is to set up the Edmonton game, because obviously if you look at this, you got Vladar playing tonight, then he has 2 nights off before Edmonton. So that makes sense, but I don't know. I just thought maybe they would go with Vladar in Calgary against his former team. But Vladar got to start tonight and played well, played really well. The defense was not good in front of him. Flyers were consistently outgunned tonight. They were outshot for the game, but they were also out-physicaled. Flyers are not a physical hockey team, but they find ways to get around that tonight. Vancouver pushed him around a bit, and Vladar was up to the task, faced 35 shots, gave up 3 goals, and finishes with a .914 save percentage for the Canucks. They went ahead with Demko, who faced 31 shots, saved 27 of them, gave up 4 goals, and gave up more than that, and finishes the night with a .871 goals against, or save percentage. So there you have their goalie breakdown. Said Vladar got the nod tonight. I was a little surprised, honestly, but I can see why. You want to give him the extra day to get ready for Edmonton. Let's get into the goals. Vancouver would, as I mentioned, get up early, which honestly, it was sort of, in my opinion, a done deal by the way the Flyers came out in this game. Outshot 7-0 before this shot, which resulted in a goal at the 3:45 mark. Now, granted, this is 3 minutes and 45 seconds into the first period. The Flyers are already being outshot 7-0. So it did not start well. And David Kampf with his second from O'Connor and Pettersson, making it 1-0 Vancouver. Let's go to the videotape, shall we? It's good to be back. I haven't done a Flyer post game like this in a while. I've done a few of the combos where I blend them into my 9 o'clock show, but I haven't done a standalone post-game show in a minute. It's good to get back to start breaking some goals down for you guys. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Let's bring this goal up. Ooh. All right. So let's pick up the play inside the Flyers zone. We'll let this thing roll here as the Flyers will try. As again, the Canucks were flying around early and they were out muscling the Flyers. We're going to play a little bit of keep away here from the Flyers as the Canucks are going to bring it around the half wall. Now, it's important here because this goal was actually pretty strategic, and we'll talk about what I mean here in a second. They'll put the puck back behind net. So I want you to keep an eye on Sean Couturier as he's going to do what every centerman does in defense. He's going to go towards his own net because that's his responsibility. That's his job as a centerman on defense, sort of kind of keep that front of the net clear. Now you can see him; he's already starting to kind of look around, to see what sort of situation he's got himself into. He goes to the left, he looks over that way, then he's starting to look behind him, making sure there's nobody sneaking in behind him, but there is somebody sneaking in, and he picks him up. Now he thinks he's doing well, and Vancouver's got the puck behind the net. You got Drysdale coming in behind as he's a little bit out of position as a defenseman in this situation, a little bit out, but he's going to come down, and this is pretty cool how they do this. Take a look. Basically, Couturier is going to pick up the guy coming through the middle. He's going to clear this out. This was a strategic move done by number 29 to pull Couturier away from the middle of the net to enable a smaller defender in Drysdale to get matched up one-on-one with a larger Kampf, the larger forward. And Jamie Drysdale just gets out-muscled here pretty badly, actually, as he gets pushed around right off the bat. They're just going to get it out front, and boom. I'm not really going to put this on Vladar. You should maybe want to make that save that close to your front of your net, but Jamie Drysdale painfully outmatched there as he gets pushed around. This was the beginning of a bad night for Drysdale. As I mentioned, though, he does redeem himself at the end, but a pretty strategic hockey play there to kind of clear Couturier out of the front and enable the smaller Drysdale to sort of get bullied around by the bigger forward. And that results in a Vancouver 1-0 lead. And at that point, it was 8-0 in the shot arena in the first period. The Flyers would battle back, though, as maybe that was the goal that woke them up. Noah Cates would get the Flyers on the board with his 10th of the season from Michkov and Brink at the 12:02 mark to tie it. And let's bring this bad boy up. There were some pretty goals tonight scored by the Flyers. I will give them credit. There were some nice offensive moves. There were some puzzling offense tonight, as we'll see a little bit later on. But let's talk about this goal here, that Cates goal. So let's get it going. All right, so let's pick up the play in the neutral zone or at center ice, I guess. Flyers sort of kicking the puck around a little bit. But they retain possession, and we're going to try. The Flyers are not a very good neutral zone type skating hockey team. They've been getting better. Now, interesting here. All right, so who is that down there? Let me see. Who is that? That would be is that Michkov down there? I think that is Michkov. Let me see. Let me just see. I gotta see something here. Yeah, it is Michkov. So Michkov, who gets credit for a really good game tonight off the puck. He did have some opportunities, did not score any goals, but this is a really pretty play. I don't know if you guys can see the puck. It's right here. Michkov is literally going to catch this thing with his stick in midair. This is a bad pass. It's a terrible pass, but Michkov somehow, some way is able to catch it, knock it down, and then obviously create a play here where nothing should have happened. Just a really pretty play by him. And he's going to feed it back to Cates. He's going to walk down inside the dot and just, again, this is a shot Demko needs to get back. He goes low, beats him in the 5-hole underneath the pad for the goal. But I really am going to remark, let's pop that back. It's just kind of an amazing play that he makes on a bad pass. He's able to literally to catch it, not knock it down. He catches it and then drops it onto the ground. Just absolutely amazing by Michkov there. You can't give 2 assists on one play, but he definitely deserves that for that play. These are the plays that don't show up on the score sheet. Obviously, the assist does, but there really should be an asterisk next to that because that was just a lovely play by a guy that's struggling hard and, in and out of the doghouse with Rick Tocchet. But right there, Michkov showing off that skill that everybody thought he has or that he has. So the Flyers would tie it up at 1, and that would be your score heading into the first intermission. Vancouver would outshoot the Flyers 10-5, and let's face it, it could have been a lot worse. So the Flyers can get some credit here with this after giving up the first 8 shots. They only gave up 2 the rest of the way and got 5 of them back. So you got to take small victories out of some bad play, and it was a helter-skelter for first half of the first period for the Flyers, as they almost got skated out off the ice by a very bad Vancouver Canuck team. I'm sorry, they're bad. They're admittedly bad. They're rebuilding. So to come out of this only being outshot 10-5 in the first period, you got to take some credit from there. Flyers would get going in the second. Grunderson, who's been red hot over the last goals down his last 4, his 7th of the season from Gulbenkian and Sanheim at 340 to put the Flyers up for good as they would take the lead 2-1 on this play. Let's bring this up. It's what happens when you're running a show by yourself with no producers. You got to do all this stuff on your own, folks. But I love breaking goals down. So let's bring it up. Flyers are going to have the puck in their own zone. They're going to come out. Again, they're trying to get better with their neutral zone play. This was a nice little play that kind of gets away from the Flyers, but then they're able to keep it going as the defense for the Canucks sort of just, I don't know what he was doing. He was sort of asleep there. He decided to play man instead of puck. In a situation like that, when the guy doesn't have full possession, sometimes you lean towards the puck more than the man because of something like this. It's going to create a 2-on-1 here, but it's a funky 2-on-1 because the puck is so far out in front and you're running out of ice quickly. It's almost like a one-on-one, really, because you're going to see as we let this thing run, by the time Grunderson gets it, he's way too committed. He can't really make a pass at this point, and he's going to have to try to do something, and he does. An amazing shot. He takes it top shelf, far side, and right over the elbow, shoulder area there, and puts it home. As I said, just go back again. You get the 2-on-1, kinda, but the puck is so far out of reach. By the time Grunderson gets it, he's sort of in no man's land, and he has to shoot. There's really nothing he's going to be able to do with the pass there. So he makes the best out of nothing there. And it's a real pretty, top shelf, far side goal there to give the Flyers a 2-1 lead. So, again, some of those pretty offensive plays were on display, and that was definitely one of them. So the Flyers will continue to build upon that lead at the 10:20 mark. And this, obviously, anytime Travis Konecny gets a goal lately, it's a good thing. And he gets it here, his 12th at 16:20 from Drysdale and Zegras to give the Flyers the 2-goal cushion, 3-1. And this was a nice, pretty goal too by Konecny. As again, not having the greatest of seasons. If there's maybe some of the critiques you can make as we're getting close to the halfway point in game 38, we're coming up on that halfway point of the season. You start handing out those first half report cards. Obviously, Travis Konecny might not be pulling in a lot of A's, but this was definitely a good goal, and this was one of those goals that again make Travis Konecny what he is. Let's bring it up here. So the Flyers will have the puck behind the Vancouver net. Just waiting for someone to set up. Konecny's sitting down low. In all my years of playing, coaching, and watching hockey, I just never understood how a defenseman, and of course I never played the NHL, so I'm not going to sit here and try to critique this, or I will, but I don't know how you lose sight of people down low. How do you lose somebody sitting on your goal mouth? I don't get that. And it's not like it's not like it's me down there. It's Travis Konecny, one of the higher scorers of this team, and you lose control of him and you lose accountability of him and you let him sit in the goal mouth. I never get that. And Vancouver, not only did they lose him, they completely lose him as the play is going away. And look at this, man. It's terrible. It's absolutely god-awful defense by the Vancouver Canucks to leave Travis Konecny sitting down there. I mean, the guy doesn't even look behind him. Or maybe he's looking over here. Konechny's, I get it. It's a loud building. Maybe his focus is elsewhere. But how can you not know there's somebody? These guys can see what's happening down low. Someone needs to yell something out. But not only do they not see him, they really don't see him, as they're going to come back up and just leave Konechny sitting down here. It's just a matter of trying to get the puck to him. And they do, as we got the shot. We got a pass. We got Konechny with the shot. It was a weak pass, but then he stays with the rebound. Goalie slides out of the way. Konechny loses his feet, puts the top shelf, gets the goal. I'm surprised Konechny wasn't jumping up and down there. Like, hey, man, look, I'm all alone. But they do capitalize on just a terrible defensive breakdown by the Canucks. And the Flyers now have the 3-1 lead. And looking at this point, like, this game is somewhat in the driver's seat. And that would be your score heading into the second intermission. The Flyers rectified the shots on net that period as they painfully outshot Vancouver 19-9 heading into the third period. And I was feeling that, okay, hiccup's over. We've regained dominance in this hockey game to a very inferior opponent. Let's finish this thing up. But Drew O'Connor had other things in mind, as he would get Vancouver right back in this bad boy at the 1:08 mark early in the third period. His 10th from Kampf, his first. It would get Vancouver within one goal, 3-2. And let's bring this up. All right, so this one's up. Let's go to the videotape, shall we? All right, so puck, we're going to pick up action inside the Vancouver zone. They're going to come up. They're going to try to come out, and they do, as we're going to go all the way down the ice with this. Now, they're not going to call an icing on this play. I guess they're going to say that the puck kind of passed in between the two players and did hit the offensive player, so the play will continue. If Flyers get out, and with all that, with a potential icing, they get beat to the puck. Things are going to pop around out in front. You got a shot that's missed. You got the puck bouncing around. You got Rasmus Ristolainen getting bullied himself. And there you go. There's the goal from Connor to make it 3-2. Just an ugly goal. Again, an icing that was not called. Again, as it passed through those players, I guess it must have hit one of the Vancouver Canucks. So they waved the icing off. And maybe the Flyers were just thinking it was going to be an icing. And they pretty much took the play off because they get out, hustled to the puck. Risto loses the battle to the puck. And then Risto gets bullied around as O'Connor was able to put the puck by Vladar to give the Canucks a little bit of fresh life in this game, 3-2. But then the Flyers would put this game away at the 1:34 mark, about a minute, less than a minute actually, about 25 seconds, 30 seconds later, Bobby Brink his 10th from Michkov and Cates to give the Flyers a 4-2 lead. But this goal here, folks, was a little bit of this was a helter-skelter goal. Beautiful 2-on-1 opportunity. Again, Michkov off puck. Well, I mean, he's got the puck, but he's off the scoring opportunity. He's going to facilitate this. And as we watch this, as this goal went in, I was a little curious of why Vancouver did not challenge this goal. And I'm going to explain what I mean here in a second. Let's bring it up. So we're going to pick up play coming outside the Flyers zone. The Flyers are going to gain possession as it comes off the half wall, and it's going to create this 2-on-1 beautiful outlet pass. And there's Michkov kind of messing with it. You got Brink has got to wait to be onside. So Michkov's onside, Brink's onside. Now Michkov's going to come up. Now this play, honestly, is probably one of the uglier 2-on-1s I've ever seen because it was so slow in developing. Michkov was, and I'm not necessarily going to blame Michkov here, but you could see as his head is up, he's looking at Brink. He's looking to pass all day long. I don't even think he's thinking about shooting the puck. Brink is trying to read Michkov, and I don't know if Michkov stops, he slows down. Brink looks like he's skating in quicksand. It just never really it just ran way too slow, and it's going to create this thing at the end that was a little bit questionable, as we can see. Again, just a real slow developing play. Michkov finally decides to pass. Is Brink in the blue before the puck? Vancouver never challenges this, but it was really close. I would have personally challenged it, but Brink gets the goal there on a very ugly 2-on-1 that just took way too long to sort of develop. Michkov kind of tips his hand really early in that play of wanting to pass because he's got his head up. His head's up. He's looking right at Brink the whole way. Brink is really hesitant on what he's doing. I guess he decides, I got to go to the net because he's looking to pass. And then here we go again. Is the puck in before Brink? Again, Vancouver did not challenge it. I guess they saw it differently. Flyers do take the 4-2 lead in an ugly 2-on-1, but it counts. And now you think this game is pretty much in hand. So towards the end, the Flyers are penalized. Vancouver pulls the goalie, giving Owen Tippett an opportunity, shorthanded with the empty net. He puts it in to make it 5-2 at 17-19 mark. Definitely think that's historical there. But within about a minute later, Tom Willander would score for Vancouver, his second goal of the year, to make it 5-3 as we got a game again at 18-16. But then Christian Dvorak will ice it away at the 19-23 mark, his ninth with the empty netter, his ninth goal of the season. And that's how we get 6-3. The Flyers were outshot 16-9 in that third period. For the game, Vancouver outshot Philadelphia 35-33. The Flyers were 0-for-1 on the power play, but did score a shorthanded goal. It counts. Vancouver was 0-for-4, and that's a really good sign as the Flyers' penalty kill seems to be really picking up lately. They were hovering around 80% for a minute, but they've started pulling that up a bit. Tonight they held Vancouver to 0-for-4. Flyers gave the puck away 17 times and took it away 3. They also blocked 15 shots. And there you go. 6-3 is your final. And as I mentioned, a very ugly game to start for Jamie Drysdale. We talked about that goal that he sort of got bullied around like he's a rag doll. Then earlier in the then there's another play where he's basically he whiffs on a shot that creates a 2-on-1 the other way. Dar comes up big time with a save. Just not a good game for him. But then he redeems himself late. Coming into the zone, he attempts a shot. His stick blows up, creating a basically 1-on-0 breakaway the other way. He's trailing the play without a stick. Vladar makes an amazing save. Drysdale then hops up on that loose puck, kicks the puck into the corner, fights off to the forward until help can arrive and they get the puck out. So Drysdale redeemed himself a little bit at the end of this hockey game, but obviously Drysdale's not here for his defensive skills, and that's not why we brought him here. He's the right-handed shot. He's got somewhat he's shown it in the past, quarterbacking ability. He really has a great lateral game. He's supposed to be able to score. He's not scoring here. Drysdale's an enigma right now. And obviously when you're traded for Cutter Gauthier, things are going to sort of follow you around. And he's been struggling. Taka did talk him up a couple of days ago, saying his play has improved. I personally haven't seen it. Very challenging game for Drysdale tonight. He was all over the place, which is a good thing, but he does make that play at the end, but just not a real good. It's been really a spotty effort from Drysdale this season and ever since he's been here. So, but all's good. All's well that ends well. Flyers with a 6-3 win will take their act to Calgary tomorrow night on the back end of this back-to-back, and they will face the juggernaut Flames, who are just as bad as the damn Canucks are, And Urson more than likely will get to start in net, which would then set Vladar up to start Saturday afternoon in Edmonton against them Edmonton Oilers. But the Flyers now on the season, they captured their 20th win, 20-11-7, 47 points through now, as we mentioned, 38 games. We're getting close to the halfway point of this season. And, overall, really good things to report from this hockey team, and very interesting stuff that we've been seeing from the goaltending tonight. Again, not holistically a good game, but they found ways to just rise above the inferior competition and win the game. And it's good to talk that way. It's good to say that there's a team out there that the Flyers should beat. And Vancouver's one of those teams, and so is Calgary. Let's be blunt. But we'll do this again tomorrow night. Again, here's our schedule once again, the Clear the Ice schedule for the rest of the week. I will be back tomorrow night for New Year's Eve action in the they don't call it the Saddle Dome anymore, do they? Is it still called the Saddle Dome in Calgary? But I'll be back here tomorrow night for the Calgary Flames and all the other great stuff that's happening on the network throughout the weekend. You guys have a great rest of your day, as we are over the midnight hour, so it is officially New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's for all you out there. I won't probably talk to you again until 2026. So have a good rest of your day. Have a great New Year's Eve. I'll see you tomorrow morning on Clear the Ice. And in the immortal words of the late, great Gene Hart, good night and good hockey.